Welcome to Marriage Monthly. We're Gabe and Melissa Kolstad, and we want to help you build a healthy, lifelong marriage. We get together every single month with a podcast designed to just give you practical tips to help you grow in your marriage, and we can't wait to spend some time with you.
Well, we're talking about bringing new life into your marriage. It's April right now, and it's just at Easter. It's springtime, new life everywhere. We've been on walks a lot lately because the time change really helps with that. Like the after-dinner walks are so much nicer. So I've been out there walking. As I'm sneezing, Melissa's looking at all the cherry blossoms. Yeah. and we're both reminded, I have allergies and she's enjoying all the foliage. But I think it does remind us that there's new life everywhere and that God's really in the new life business. And I think nowhere more than in marriage. Yeah. And he wants to put new life into our marriages. So we're going to talk about that. Bringing new life in your marriage. I was looking at Revelation 21:5, and this is I think it's so visionary what Jesus does, because this is the very end of everything, right? He's like creating the new heavens and the new earth. And he says, it says in there, and the one sitting on the throne said, "Look, I'm making everything new." And then he said to me, "Write this down, for what I tell you is trustworthy and true." And I just love the visual for me of Jesus. In fact, I don't know if you remember this part in the movie The Passion of the Christ, where Jim Caviezel playing Jesus as he's carrying the cross. And he's carrying, and he's just this bloody, just so disfigured and bloody. And he is on that road carrying the cross, and he looks over at this lady and he says, "I'm making everything new." And I always have that vision of Jesus when I read this, even though, this is coming from much later, from Revelation.
But it's a specialty. Like, this is what he does.
It's what he does, right? And so we want to talk about 4 ways to breathe new life into your marriage. And Melissa's going to kick us off. So, babe, yeah.
And I love this. First one, number 1, mix it up.
Yeah.
Okay, as you know, I am an extrovert. And
you're a mixer-upper.
And I'm a mixer-upper, and I'm extreme about everything. I don't like being bored.
Oh, my gosh. It literally exhausts me how easy you get bored.
I literally will go to a game and be like, "I'm bored."
And I'm like, we, oh my gosh, yeah. Like, we just got back from somewhere, but yeah.
But I'm just saying, mix it up. Mm-hmm. The problem is a lot of times in marriage, you're bored.
No, it's so true.
Yeah. Like, you do the same thing all the time. And boredom, when you're bored, you drift.
Yeah.
And that's just what happens. So same couch, same schedule, same arguments, same outcome, same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. You don't need a new spouse, you need a new pattern.
Oh, it's good.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I got a couple things I want to say here. I got 4 things, actually. But the first one is new activities. We went on a bike ride yesterday.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We were waterfront and just rode bikes all the way to the end.
With our new electric bikes from Christmas. It was actually my first time riding that thing more than just in our cul-de-sac.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, because I did not with my brother.
Yeah.
Well, so much fun. We went from one end to the waterfront, almost down to 205 to the total off.
I mean, it was probably 10 miles or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But with electric bikes, whatever.
Easy.
But we did not have them on the whole time. For the record, we were exercising.
Yeah.
You said you didn't have yours on the whole time.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Anyways, bikes. Go on a bike ride. Go on a hike. We live in Pacific Northwest. There are 1,000 hikes within 30 miles of us.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
For sure.
Go on a hike. Go to a concert tonight. I'm wearing my hat. If you're watching and not listening, I got my Hops hat on because tonight is opening night for the Hops.
Hillsboro Hops, Hillsboro, Oregon.
Yes.
Brand new stadium.
Brand new stadium.
First game in the new stadium.
I know, I'm so stoked. So go to a game, go on a walk, do soaking tubs. Okay, Gabe's obsessed with soaking tubs.
I'm Norwegian. It's like in my blood.
I guess so.
Yeah.
There was Roman baths too, and it's not in my blood. I hate bar. Anyway,
something went wrong there.
I go to soaking tubs because you love them so much. So
yes,
new activities are good. Couples massage, a car ride, a picnic.
Yeah.
Do something new. Do a new activity. Don't do the same old and get bored, because boredom brings drift. All right, number 2.
It's good, babe.
New environment. Seriously, like, I need a new environment.
New scenery.
Every single week. I was like, where can we go? What do we do? What do we do? He's like, settle down.
No, but
ADHD pills.
I like it too. I really do like it too. And I think it keeps things exciting. I love new. I've always said I would love to wake up in a different country every day and have to figure out where I am.
Yeah, I love popping into new city.
Yeah.
So you will literally just go to a new part of Portland for the day. Mm-hmm. Vancouver yesterday, just to roam around. Hawthorne Street today, it's roam around. Like, we'll just go find a new environment. I mean, maybe the beach. We live like an hour and a half from the beach.
Yeah.
We go a lot. We love the beach. Seattle, 3 hours away. Ben's 3 hours away.
We hitchhike now because gas is so expensive.
No, we have an electric car.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Either hitchhike or take the electric car.
yeah. But the only bummer with the electric car is you have to stop and
Charge.
fill her up.
Yeah.
Anyways, new coffee shop. We literally do a new coffee shop every single Monday.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Portland, Oregon, so we can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, new park, like just new environment. Go find something new. New environment, new activity, new environment, and new conversations. People tend to argue about the same stuff, like all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's literally the same argument all the time. Stop arguing over the same thing. Stop talking. I'm going to say this. Stop talking about the kids all the time. You have a marriage too. Like, and I remember when we had young kids and we would go on a date, 90% of the conversation was kids.
I mean, you're in the thick of it. Yeah.
And I'm like, we got to talk about something else. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, because then, like, we leave the kids to get a breather, right? But then that's all we do is talk about it.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay.
And sometimes we need help too. Like, well, what else are we going to talk about? So sometimes, like, we've used those little prompt cards, just to give us ideas, or those, like sometimes you'll get a book that has those types of, that's helpful. It can be really helpful.
That's new conversation. I'm going to say, read a book together, read the Bible together, read a devotional together, like do something where you have other stuff to have conversations about. I mean, some people want to just talk about their in-laws or talk about these friends they can't stand at work constantly. It's like, let's not have our conversations always be negative. So I think the new conversation should be positive, in a positive direction where you're encouraging each other, you're having fun together. I love having fun conversations with you. We strategize, we plan, do all this kind of stuff. And it is a joy for me. I absolutely love it. So make some new memories, plan some new things. You'll have more stuff about when you do those things.
Yep.
That's important. And lastly, for me, new ideas. Think outside the box.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was going with that one. Don't constantly talk about how bored you are and you're not willing to do anything about it. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't know what to do, so I do nothing.
You know what's funny? I think this is kind of funny because our living room has not been rearranged in like 19 years.
No, I rearrange it for Christmas every year.
No, that's true. So it's been rearranged 19 times.
I don't decorate.
Yeah.
Where I put my
But I think it's so funny. But I think like if we could reconfigure our house to where it worked a different way, we probably would. But we've learned that there's only one way. But it is funny to me that we do all this new stuff, but yet if anybody comes over on a regular basis, they're like, it's the same.
I don't have anything new.
Yeah.
I have nothing new in the house. My clothes are mostly hand-me-downs. I like my energy goes.
It's focused toward experiences.
Memories, not. I don't care about the rest of that stuff. I got my hops hat on today. I got this baby for $5 last season. The other hats are like 35. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm supportive, but not that supportive. Anyways, but I mean, new ideas. Think outside the box. Don't talk about how bored you are and not willing to do anything. There are so many ideas out there that couples can do. I don't know about you, but I literally can get bombarded on Instagram or TikTok or any of these kind of things with couples ideas. I mean, literally in your hand is your phone. You can Google any day of the week, things to do this weekend in Portland or wherever you live. And I can guarantee a zillion things will come up. And you don't have to go expensive. You can be smart about it, but there's plenty to do.
Yeah. And if you're watching or listening right now and you think like I do that Melissa should start her own YouTube channel called Melissa Travels, it'd be such a good place to get advice for traveling.
Then it's a job.
Okay.
I'm not doing it. Here's some quotes that I love. A rut is just a grave with both ends knocked out. That's from my dad.
Yeah.
Which I think is cute. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, Albert Einstein. And if nothing changes, CR. And that's the truth. Because
celebrate recovery,
celebrate recovery. Sorry, should be clear with that. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you're just going to complain about being bored and you're going to drift and that kind of thing, then that's on you. Because there's plenty of ideas and ways to change and do something new and come together. I mean, we're a testament of that. We do it nonstop every Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, we're very intentional about injecting newness. And it's just
more than necessary. But the point is,
maybe a little bit extreme.
Too many couples that are bored.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no reason to be bored.
Yeah.
Like, do something about it. Stop complaining about it.
So one way to breathe new life in your marriage is mix it up. I love it. Second way, ready?
Yep.
Cultivate your faith. Cultivate your faith. Breathe new life. Sometimes we need to do the mix it up. Sometimes we need to go a little deeper than that even and go, well, what's underneath it all? What's underneath? Your marriage will never outgrow your spiritual depth. And I think that's really important for us to realize, because what we know, and we'll talk about this a couple times here, but is that it all has to be built on a relationship with God. And we've always said that we really believe that two believers, even in a disadvantaged situation, they can make it work. Because if you've got the foundation of Jesus beneath you, and the forgiveness that he gives and the strength he brings and the new life that he brings, we can figure out how to make it work, even in challenging circumstances.
Nothing's impossible for God.
Yeah.
No marriage is impossible for God to fix.
But that's got to be in place, and I think we have to constantly feed that. Most couples want to grow a better marriage without surrendering to God's plan. Mm-hmm. And that, it's like you can look outside with all these tactics and ways and, the next book or whatever. But if the spiritual foundation isn't there, it's a dead end. And I love what the scripture says about this. It says, unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Psalm 127. And a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Ecclesiastes chapter 4. We're talking about Solomon's wisdom on having God at the center of your relationship, and where you can kind of picture God as the center cord and we're wrapped around him together. That's a really strong bond.
And I'm so thankful because we met at a church event.
Yeah.
Your family was Christians. My family was Christians. We went to camps. We surrendered to go in ministry, not even together. We surrendered separately. You surrendered our ministry, and we end up coming back together years later in Bible college and decided to serve the Lord together. And I don't have a single regret. I'm so very thankful.
Me too.
That. But
Me too.
I'm so glad that faith was the first.
Yeah.
Like the first.
And I realize that there's a lot of couples listening to this that's not their situation. But I admire those couples. You can. In fact, I just had a phenomenal conversation with a couple that's determined to build their faith and to make some things right. And I'm so proud of those couples that are going, we're going to take, they didn't come with the same background that we have. But they're coming at the place that they're at, and they're going, we're going to now step into this with Jesus at the center, and I think that's beautiful.
I think as the Holy Spirit convicts you and leads you, if you're sensitive to that as a believer, then you're going to make things right as much as you know how.
Yeah.
You don't always know.
Which is all we're accountable for, right? Yeah. So I think the solution to your marriage doesn't start with your spouse. And that I think is a lot of times the misunderstanding. It's like, something's wrong here. It must be her fault, or something's wrong there. I think it must be his fault. But a lot of times it's not that. It's deeper than that. It's actually about your relationship with God, and especially him as your foundation in your marriage. And so here's just a few ideas. One is to pray together. And I realize that could feel a little forced or awkward, but so be it, make it happen. Yeah, exactly. Start with 60 seconds. What's wrong with that? 60 seconds. Last night, okay, here's a confession. Our dinners have evolved, all right? We're now empty nesters. I know, our babies left. We have a dinner table. Yeah. We just don't use it unless there's other people at the house.
It's a messy meal, like taco.
True.
I'm like, no, let her do nothing.
Yeah, taco night. Yeah. But if it's like something that's pretty containable, we're doing it on the couch now. Yeah. And we got like a show going. Yeah. So we're that couple now. Sorry about that. But
when the kids are home. No,
that's true. But still, even in our degenerate new plan, we still stop and pray for dinner. And, we're usually praying about something as well. And, those little touch points, a little devotional here. So, pray together. 60 seconds. Consistency is probably more important than length. It's those little touches. If one of you is sick, just stop for a second and pray. It can be such a connection point, and it's not a big deal. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to say fancy words, and you don't have to dress up for it, but having that moment to connect around, we're trusting the Lord together on something is so good. Another one is read scripture together, like just super simple. If you're not sure how to get started, go to Amazon, buy a little devotional, Max Lucado, or now I forgot the name of it. Yeah, it's David Jeremiah. Is it called Standing Strong, I think. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, but there's all these little devotionals where you it's a tiny, it's a little tiny book, and then 1 page per day. You're talking 90 seconds of reading.
You can have a conversation about that if you feel like it.
And so ask the question, what stands out, And there's really nothing awkward about that. It's just, it can become a new place to talk and pray and trust together. Another one is worship together. And that's pretty easy if you're a part of a church, because you literally can do that at church, right? Yeah. And so go to the service. Let me give you, okay, as a pastor, can I do this? I'm going to give some tips on worshiping.
Is it 3 points with the same
Probably.
letter?
But no, I don't have time to put that together. Yeah, this is going to be messy. The thing that I think would be great, show up a little bit early. When you show up, have already prayed ahead of time in your own soul. Like I think come ready, come ready to connect with people. Yeah, not rushed, and also not preoccupied, not mad at somebody, not carrying a bunch of junk if you can. Maybe God's got you there so you can release that stuff. Yep. But worship together. I love the times now. I'm often on stage preaching. You're often organizing something. But I love the times when we can. Like if there's a week I'm not teaching and, we're like in the front row together. Yeah. We're holding hands. We're singing songs together. We're praying together. We're sitting next to each other, taking notes together on the teaching. I think that's great. And I think that gives you another thing it's like, to me, you stack all this stuff and it builds your spiritual life. And another one that we love so much is serving together. We love it. It's so much fun. We started out serving together when we got married, and we've never stopped. And it's changed. We've done a million different things together, literally like everything you can think of, including miming on the streets of Chicago. We have mimed in Chicago. Mimed, like black and white. No words, weird, doing the thing. Yeah, we've done all that stuff. But I think the reality is that if you want your marriage to be strengthened, you have to be strengthened. That has to come from the Lord. We always talk about how the energy comes from the Lord to me and out to my wife, and vice versa. And otherwise, you're trying to pour from an empty cup. Exactly. And boy, does that get old real fast, and everybody notices it. So, stop asking your spouse to meet needs that only God can fill, and let's rely on the strength of the Lord and build that faith foundation that we can grow together.
That's good. Yeah. All right, number 3, show your commitment. Show. Said that. Did you hear me? Show. Don't just tell. People don't feel loved because you have commitment. They feel loved because you show commitment. That's the whole point of a marriage ceremony.
Yeah.
It's
demonstration.
Making a covenant. You are committing to each other. That is what you do. So you can be faithful on paper and still be absent in practice. Ooh. And it's so true because people can say, I'm married. They don't show it. They don't care. They don't act like it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so much infidelity in marriage. It makes me so mad. It's like you can't handle yourself. Come on. Just drives me crazy. I mean, it's not just a piece of paper. It's not. I can't stand when people tell me that. No, it is a commitment. You wrote it. You signed it. You paid $60 for that certificate.
I think it's gone up.
I don't know if it has.
I don't know.
I'm going to have to ask some young people that just got married.
Yeah.
It was like $60 forever.
Yeah, it was.
But anyways, I mean, my point is it's not just a piece of paper. It's really, really important. Commitment. Action commitment means everything. You can't just say, I love you. I love you. No, I want you to say, I love you. That's really, really important. So the question is, am I still choosing you? And I think you must recommit every single day. Because I feel like the devil is trying to pull you apart. You have an enemy that is trying to ruin this unit.
So much.
And he would love nothing more than to get a foothold in there and ruin things. And so I think, we recommit every single day. What do you do to serve your spouse and love them and show them commitment no matter what every single day? There's got to be some actions. There's got to be something. I make dinner for Gabe every single night.
Oh, I love it so much.
I love it. And every single night he says the same thing. Oh, this is so good. This is so good.
It really is.
I bet some of them have sucked.
No.
And you never see.
They're all awesome.
No.
And some of them are super awesome.
You're not cooking up, but.
Well, that helps.
But I love 1 John 3:18 said, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really important. So here's some ideas. Put your phone down. That's enough, right? That's all I need to say. Next.
That'd be a huge game changer. I just saw this thing.
What?
Today, I think it was, on my phone, about how restaurants are banning phones.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
No, they showed like a silver platter. I'm saying I think they're doing it because I think they know that it'd make a lot better dinner times.
Annoying. I mean, honestly, if you're sitting on your phone the entire time you're eating your $100 meal,
right? Oh my gosh, I know.
I could imagine taking our kids out to eat meals, like because we have 6, we have partners, spouses, all these things.
Yeah.
So there's 8 of us. 8 of us eating out.
Oh.
No, like it's ridiculous. Sorry.
Make that a once a year thing. Yeah.
All right. So I think put away your phone. That's the hardest thing. We are all addicted to it. I don't care what anybody says. We are addicted. So next, choose connection over convenience. And I'm going to harp on this for a second because I don't think making somebody else first is convenient.
Yeah.
Like it's not convenient to serve your spouse. It's convenient to serve myself because I think of myself more. But I think you need to step out of that. And so I feel like it's really, very important to have, like, to choose this connection, this unit more than what's convenient. So with that being said, I think, like, you know what? You better have sex even if you don't feel like it. And I know a lot of girls are like, I don't want to do that. And maybe even guys too. Mostly girls. Okay, I'm going to go girls.
Yeah.
That's what I know. But I'm just saying, like, it is very, very important that you have sex with your spouse. Because, again, I feel like the devil wants to get a foothold in that. And so it's the easiest way to wedge something in your relationship by
physical, that physical distance. Yeah.
So you're lacking that passion and intimacy that God has made as a married couple. It's a beautiful thing that you do as a married couple. And so I think, it's not always convenient. I don't want to take the time. I don't have the energy, whatever, But you know what? Suck it up. It's something that we are, I think, required to do in marriage. It's part of our marriage. It's part of what married people should be doing. Mm-hmm. So that's just my opinion.
Well, and I think let's just turn the tables for a sec, because I think for guys, it can be easy to expect that without thinking about the full picture, which is the full picture of intimacy for a marriage is not about actually just sex. It's about how do you, we all know, like, I love one of my marriage mentors early on was named Howard Cookston. And he always said, guys, water the grass in the morning. Yeah. And what he was saying is, don't show up, come home from work and expect sex when you never even gave your wife the time of day. Yeah. All day. You barked at her in the morning and you stormed off to work and you show up home and like, oh, we're gonna get it on tonight. And he's like, you're dreaming, dude. Yeah. But I just
girls are crock pots in the sex department and boys are microwaves.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, water, what does that look like to nurture, to cherish, to treasure the person, to flirt through the day. And, I think all that matters.
That connection matters.
Yeah.
So my thing, and this is not scientific, it's just my opinion, 1 or 2 times a week. That's my opinion. I think that keeps you connected. Because after a couple weeks, 3-4 weeks, you feel distant. I don't care who you are. You feel distant. And that distance is where the devil comes in and can show somebody else, oh, maybe they're going to show me attention. Or, oh, I can do life without him. Right. I don't need him anymore. What, and then all these doubts and these weird things come creeping in. And so I just think it's really important. I think you should not neglect that. So also, even if you don't feel like it, go on a date, spend time together, go on a walk, make connecting a priority. It's not always convenient, but it is necessary.
Yeah.
So it's not just sex. I'm not saying that. It's more than that. But I think it's just important to be connected. And yes, it's not always convenient. But I hope that because you chose your spouse in the first place, you want to be with them all the time.
Right.
That would be ideal. So fight for the relationship when it would be easier to withdraw. This world will tell you to bail. God says not to. Don't give up. I have watched too many relationships on the verge of failure stay the course and not give up, and now they're thriving. So some seasons can suck. Like, not every year is awesome and stellar. But I think if you just keep going and stay the course. I mean, I just talked to someone on Sunday that their marriage was falling apart 5 years ago. They're thriving. I'm like, how are you guys doing now? And she's like, great. So wow. I'm so glad I didn't give up. And I'm so thankful for that too. So here's a quote. Trust is built in drops and lost in buckets. Ooh. You get what that means?
Yeah.
It takes a long time to build trust, but it takes one event. One event.
Gosh, that's so true.
And it is true. And it's a bummer, but it's true. Commitment isn't a feeling you protect. It's a decision you prove, especially when you don't feel like it. So choose commitment every single day.
Very good. Love it. Okay. Last one. Strength and trust. You mentioned trust just a minute ago, and what we know about trust is that it's the foundation of all relationships. And great analogy about drops versus buckets.
Yeah.
And so what that means is then trust is going to be built one drop at a time. And we got to be very consistent if we expect that to happen. It breaks in big moments. It erodes in even it can even erode though in small inconsistencies. Where if you've said something and it doesn't line up, and you've done that a number of times, then you start to be suspect, and your spouse is going to look at you and be like, "There's cracks in the foundation there. What's going on?" Yeah. So Luke 16:10 says, "Whoever is faithful in little is faithful in much." And what Jesus really talks about there is that if you'll be faithful in the little things, I'll make you faithful over more. So we earn trust. And I remember as a kid, as a teenager, my parents were really big on trust. And I'll be honest, I had a lot of freedom as a teenager, unless I proved that I needed to earn the trust back, which happened several times. And so, you'd be like running, long leash, and all of a sudden, this grinding halt, as you realize that's getting shortened a lot really fast. And I think trust is like that. So we've got lots and lots of opportunity. And I think that I do like the idea, like there was that movie Lean On Me a long, long time ago with Morgan Freeman, I think. Such a good movie. It's old now, but really good. And what he did was it's about a teacher who goes into the schools, I think in LA, and is turning around a school.
Yeah, he's a principal.
Yeah. And he decided that they were going to put an A on everybody's head to begin with. And there's another movie about that too, and I think Michelle Pfeiffer is in it. But it's like the idea would be,
right.
It's how do you, because you could treat your spouse like you could do it the other way around. Be like, you have an F until you earn a D, and then no, start with an A.
That's right.
And then, if we need to, we can adjust that. We could talk about it, but nobody's going to do well if they think you expect them to fail.
Yeah.
And
we'll just give up.
Yeah. So I'd say, let's give trust. I think that's important to give trust. 1 Corinthians 13:7 says, love always trusts. Yeah. So we start with a mentality of trust. Yeah. I wrote this down. Trust is built on the boring moments. It is. It's like my job in the house, and I know this, is to do dishes. And so there are some mornings consistently.
It's every day.
And there are some mornings I wake up and I realize I didn't do the dishes last night. Like I left stuff in the sink, or the dishwasher got clean, like the light's on, and it was on when I went to bed, and I knew that it was on. It's just I was tired, and so I went to bed, and then I get up in the morning and I forgot, and now I'm like up against the clock. And so there are several times where I've had to like push out a meeting so that I could make sure that I empty the dishwasher.
I don't mind doing it.
I know, but the thing is that I said I would do the dishes. Yeah. I know that was 31 years ago, but still, I want to do the dishes. And
Get to it.
Yeah, I know you are, but it's built in the boring moments. I think it's not just doing what you say; it's doing it consistently over time.
Yeah,
and it's being proactive about it. It's not just showing up; it's about showing up available. It's about showing up present. It's,
yourself.
Yeah. And I think trust is built when there's transparency. There was this time in our church when we got really, really disappointed by a ministry partnership, and we got let down. And the person that we thought he was one kind of person, and he wasn't. And it was such a breach of trust. When we stopped, though, and looked back, we realized we had never made sure that we had two things. One was transparency, and one was accountability. Yeah. And so we didn't build the relationship so that we could see what was going on, and we didn't build the relationship so that we knew someone was asking the hard questions. I think that's important for trust. And so if you were looking at yourself as a spouse going, can they see, like, for instance, we talk about this, passwords. Mm-hmm. Like, if you got a bunch of secret passwords, guys, and your wife doesn't know what they are, or girls, and your spouse doesn't know what they are, that's asking for mistrust. That's suspicion all the way. What are you hiding?
Oh yeah, and if I say, "Can I see your phone for you?" and I grab a picture, and you hesitate,
right?
Like,
yeah, what's on there?
What?
Yeah.
What are you hiding from me?
Yeah. So
totally transparent.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And let transparency drive you to integrity. She's going to see whatever you do. So let that drive you to, yeah, it is okay. So I just think those things can be really important. We've talked about deposits and withdrawals, but like deposits build consistency and honesty and presence. It's like I'm doing these things that are adding to our trust bank account. And withdrawals, it's like secrecy, avoidance, broken promises, those things, dishes that aren't done. But they take away, and you can only handle so many withdrawals before you're like, we're bankrupt here. Yeah. And so I think we got to really watch that. Probably be healthy for us all to think about what's the balance. Let's look at the balance every week. Is the trust balance okay? And if you notice that something's happened, man, we got to rush. I think we got to run to that conflict and rush to it and go, like, how do we repair this?
Yeah. And don't be afraid of counseling.
Yeah.
Because or a marriage retreat.
Yeah.
Or, of course, therapy is great. And then, read a marriage book together and talk about it. Like, get your mind back in the place where you're making your marriage new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. This says most couples don't realize they've overdrafted until something big happens.
When it all
thinking about that, it's important to just notice first. So, my encouragement on the trust thing would be find something right now that would be an easy win and go after it. Get it done today. Yeah. If that means you go, hey, I wanted to share my passwords with you. And here's the document where they're written on. That's easy, right? We could all do that. But find a way where you are now opening those doors up so that trust starts to build again.
There's so much here. 4 ways to breathe new life. Mix it up, cultivate your faith together, show your commitment, and strengthen trust. So hope you got a lot out of that. And we're glad you joined us this month.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. Remember to share and subscribe and join us every single month. This is your counseling session.